Hello out there. Just me again. I just kind of wondering how you guys are doing out there. How you feeling today? Me, I'm a little bit hacked off. You know, the price of gasoline, everybody's yelling about. Why is it so high? I understand why we're paying the big oil companies. If you look at the profit, they make that about 8%. And Walmart makes last year was somewhere around 11%. Starbucks done good. They're around 13 to 14% right in there. So really for the money they're putting up and the risk they're taking and the restoration they're doing, whatever, I think we get a pretty good return on the money out of the oil companies. Now, if you go back and look, evaluate the dollar 20 years ago or 40 years ago, back in the 50s, I think the fixed gas was about 35 cents a gallon. If you look at what minimum wage was and compare the two, gas is about where it should be. One thing about it, back then, taxes wasn't as much on it. What we're paying now, about 18% give it to the government. Everybody talks about it. That's a lot to the government. But gas, ain't it? That's just kind of my thing on that. Another thing is that the government's doing well with the way they do their business and have the regulations and rules and laws and all this stuff. It's pretty much destroying our financial system. We have a very weak dollar. Whenever Fed over there, Federal Reserve starts putting out money, it makes a weaker dollar. It makes inflation go up. A lot of people say, oh, inflation ain't bad. Government telling us it's somewhere between 1 and 2. Well, but the government don't tell you they don't count oil, and they don't count most of the commodities, you know, grains and what have you, stuff. Food prices, they don't count that. I asked most of the housewives out there, is the food price now about what it was a year ago? My wages is. You know, is a gallon of milk about the same as it was when Obama took office? Was the loaf of bread about the same? You know, I look at beef. Looks like to me beef's gone up just about twice what it was a year and a half ago. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking things wrong. But how does the government get involved in all this? Well, let's go back before this big crisis went on and see what happened. People couldn't make their mortgage payments. Why? A lot of it had to do with poor mortgage management when they was making the loans. You know, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae underwrites a lot of his loans. The taxpayer underwrites them. A lot of loans was getting foreclosed on. Why? Main reason was the federal government was pushing loans to people that shouldn't have had loans. But since they wanted everybody to be happy, we all sit around the table and sing Kumbaya and all that kind of crap. That's what they was doing. Then what they done, they're sitting there giving you a loan out, and if anybody would know history, of course they don't teach you history in school no more, but if they did, it would look a lot like the late 20s and early 30s. That's what happened back then, the market bust. Okay? Back then you had a high inflation and you had people packaging and selling and everything, just kind of like this one. So then they decided, well, what we need to do, we need to take and make a law where your commercial banks couldn't bundle mortgages and sell them to financial banks, investment banks. So that was a good idea, and they put it in place, and it worked pretty good there for a long time. Well, back then, the dollar was also tied to gold. You had to have so much dollar to print so many dollar bills. That's a pretty good idea, and it worked pretty good for a long time. 70s rolled around, and other markets in the world started manipulating stuff. Everything was sitting on gold. The dollar was sitting on gold, and everybody was kind of sitting on the dollar. That's how the world market was set up, and everybody was kind of like, well, we need to do our own thing and stuff. And then inflation hit, and old Nixon, he took us off the golden standard. How did he do that? He go get Congress all together and make a bunch of new laws and all that stuff? No. He just sat down, just wrote out an executive order, and that was it. Kind of like the way Obama does things now. He just writes down a piece of paper, throws it out there, and that's the way it is. You know. But anyway, got off the gold standard back in Nixon's day. Well, when little Jimmy Carter, he was in there, inflation got carried away with him, and they tried to combat inflation with raising the rate of interest, and that's one of the ways they try to do it. Interest got up there, and inflation got up there, and it got pretty messy. Well, they made a bunch of new money and stuff, and then Reagan got into office, and he done a few different things. He cut taxes and changed a lot of policies around and stuff, and kind of got it under control. Well, so what does that have to do with today? If you go back and look, what ballooned and crashed was the housing market. And people are like, well, yeah, but government ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all banks and Wall Street, those evil people. Well, no, that ain't really how it works. The government took away the Glass-Steagall Act so that commercial banks and investment banks could do business on mortgages. Then the government told the banks, you will give mortgages out to people who are risky at least, or we'll take away your FCIC. Okay, so they done it. Basically what they was doing, they would take people out there that's making, $40,000 a year, family, 2 kids running around, and say, well, we'll sell you a $150,000 house. And you have nothing down, and to make you move in and stuff, we'll give you 125% of house value. That way you can put a little extra in your pocket, pay for all your things, get everything ready to go, move in. Then in 5-7 years down the road or whatever, then you just, this stuff's going to start kicking in, because till then all you have to do is just make your interest. You ain't got to pay nothing on the principal. Some of the loans are going to let you pay half interest, and then they take the other half and roll it over on the principal, and then in 5 years you'll pick up all your interest, and then 10 years you'll start paying the principal on a 30-year note. Well, when things like that happen, you went from having, $200 or $400 mortgage payment to double or triple it. People just lost it. Well, to me, that's being stupid for signing up for that. Stupid for the banks to loan it. Stupid for the government to make them. But anyway, the banks, what they was doing, they'd make these loans. They knew they was shaky at best. They'd bundle them up and sell them to the investment bankers. Investment bankers, they'd buy them. You buy a $100,000 loan on a 30-year note at 8%. Well, your payoff is going to be $100,000 plus 8% over 30 years. It's going to be X amount of dollars. So they take and buy that from them, and they'd bundle them up, and they'd sell a bunch of these, and they'd sell them up there, and sell them as a hedge fund, set it up as a hedge fund, and all this sort of stuff. They're letting people, retirement people and this and that and what have you invest in it and stuff. That's how it started going. But then when everybody started losing the houses, they started scrambling around to see who actually owned the mortgage on these. Well, part of them was in this, and part of them was that, and part of them was, they would sell, pieces of mortgages and scramble them all up, and it's got to be a headache. All right, so now they're like, okay, we got all these mortgages we're going to have to pay off. Somebody's going to have to bail them out. Then they started calculating, $100,000 by 30 years is what the bank's going to lose. Well, no, not really. The way the fiat money system works is what we're on now. We got rid of the other system. We got rid of the gold standard for one thing. We pretty much got away with the old system, Woodward system. So if the bank has $10, it can loan $100. If you have a $100,000 house you want to buy, the bank has to have $10,000 in assets. Okay, you got $10,000 in assets. You loan out $100,000. Okay, $90,000 of that is an asset now. Now you can take and loan 10% of that. Okay, you get my drift? So what you're doing, you're taking $10,000